The show can't start until we crack open a bottle of Revelton. Whether it's their crisp, clean vodka, the bold spice of their rye whiskey, the rich smoothness of bourbon, or the original honey whiskey that started it all, every pour is a taste of craft and passion straight from the heart of Iowa. So pour yourself a drink, settle in, and get ready to relax, laugh, and enjoy the show.
Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media, and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
Red and gold on the edge of the sky, feel the rumble, hear the battle cry. Out in Ames where the storms ignite, we don't back down, we rise and fight. Jack Tri-State's name, yeah, it echoes strong. A story of honor still marches on. Through the rain, through the pain, through the fire we roar, cause we were built to thrive in the eye of the storm. Feel the ground shake, hear the crowd roar. Cyclone power, can't take no more. Legends rise, this is our norm. We stand tall in the eye of the storm. There's a cyclone blowing on the outskirts tonight. Jack Trice shakes when the team takes flight. Milton's rocking, hear the magic call. We rise together, we'll never fall.
All right, welcome back to In the Side of the Storm, where we talk all things Cyclones. We are live from the AKC Marketing Studio with Andrew Downs and sponsored by Revelton Distilling Company out of Osceola, Iowa. Along with Iowa Beef Steakhouse, the great Julia Bradshaw, and Styled by JJ Boutique. And now the official realtor of the show, Jenny Farrell with RE/MAX. I'm Dave Larson here with my Storm Team partners and Cyclone greats, Mr. Vintage Brent Big Play Curvey. Welcome back. We have missed you, buddy.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
And the legend, Marcus Pfizer. Marcus, good evening. How are you?
Doing well, getting kind of cool here in Vegas. We're not used to it right now, but
What?
we'll
cool,
take it.
A cool
See a little
85?
storm sliding in. It's about 73 right now.
Oh, that is cold.
Yeah.
Well, so much has changed since we last spoke, but first we have two guests that we're really excited to have on. Gentlemen, presidents. Last season, of course, we had Deshaun Jackson and Joshua Jefferson, thus Jackson and Jefferson. This season, we had Joshua Jefferson and Blake Buchanan, so the team of Jefferson and Buchanan. Two guys who have been part of the presidential feature and the presidential tour names. We're glad to have you on. The camera picks you up almost every game, and even the games that are away games, right? We welcome the presidents of Ames, Nick Menson and Kyle Levi. Guys, how are you?
It's nice.
Yeah.
Tired, man. I'll tell you that.
Tired? You guys are students. This is you're just getting up for breakfast now, aren't you? At 8 o'clock at night, right?
Nah.
Sometimes.
Funny enough, I actually work production at my local church, so I was up at 7. I was there at 7:25 a.m. this morning, so I've been up for a bit.
Well, we're going to keep that in mind because I have problems with adjusting screens that everyone sees. So we might need to have you as a producer on the back end to help me out from time to time. All right. So guys, let me show a quick picture here. And I think we've all sort of become accustomed to seeing you guys in the different venues, and especially at Hilton Coliseum. I had the chance to meet a couple of you the Sweet 16 weekend in Chicago. There was a big celebration pregame before the Sweet 16 game that ended in heartbreak in Chicago. So how did you guys get started on this whole presidential feature? We're curious minds really want to know.
So the whole concept started, it would have been our winter break game not this season, but the one before against Kansas, the idea of the costumes was brought up by Cyclone Alley, which is our official like student section organization. Basically, they've came up with a lot of creative costumes for fans to wear during games, and it's really brought this section a lot of life. And during this Kansas game, we see these president ones, and me and another guy who was with me at the time were like, you know what? Sure, we don't have like our own like costume or like thing going for ourselves right now. Let's wear them because why not? And sure enough, we put them on, and then we even got the opportunity to crank the siren like before the basketball games. That was my first time doing it. I was a freshman at the time, so that was really cool. And from there, the whole idea of it just really caught fire. I mean, the TV cameras were loving it. The fans were coming down and asking us pictures, you know, back when Deshaun was still here. And I remember it was after our home loss against Kansas State on that whiteout. I talked to a buddy of mine by the name of Brendan Brody, who's been frequently impersonating Joshua Jefferson the last 2 years. He couldn't be with us here tonight. But I talked to him, and I'm just like, hey, you know what would be funny is if for our last regular season game of the year, we went to Manhattan as a joke with the president costumes and showed up just to see what their fan base thought. Mm-hmm. And even some of the K-State fans thought it was genuinely kind of cool. And that was kind of the same impression that we had got from it during the Big 12 tournament this year when there were still a few of them hanging around. So once we kind of took that idea into effect of going to road games, we were like, we can't not go to postseason games at this point. The fans love it too much for us to not be there. So with us also being college students, you know, we're broke. So like, you know,
what? You guys don't get NIL too?
Working on it next year.
Working on that. Yeah. But,
well, hey, we were broke college students at the same time.
Right.
We're not these kind of college students now. These student athletes. So we register with you guys.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. In year one, the postseason, I kind of told Brendan after the K-State game, like, you know, it'd be funny. It's like we don't got any like midterm exams. It's the week before spring break. You know what? If we can't quite afford all of it, let's like throw out a GoFundMe or something and see if we can get like $50 to contribute toward ticket costs and gas for what we had left in the Big 12 tournament. And unfortunately, we lost against BYU in that really high-scoring game. Oh, yeah. But we had so much funds from that left over that we're like, okay, let's use them toward March Madness if we're, you know, playing somewhere nearby. And sure enough, we were playing in Milwaukee. So we took funds from that. We had more people giving us more donations in Milwaukee. So we had basically that entire first and second round weekend covered. And then, you know, after that first season, we're like, there's no way we're not doing this again. With that, we're at every game of Big 12 tournament this year, as well as every game of the NCAA tournament. Most of it funded by fans. That's kind of been the story of it. It's been something that's been by high demand by our fan base, and we love it too much to not do it. We love giving them a great experience to add with their one that they're already getting on these postseason runs. So we've enjoyed doing it.
Mm-hmm. So you're telling us that this was intended to be just a one-off game, and then you had so many people coming up to you at the game, and you thought we should continue to do this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. During that K-State game, KCCI, they sent Jeff Dubroff, who now is out in Tampa, but he had tweeted something along the lines of, by land or by sea, the presidents have arrived in Manhattan. And any Iowa State fan following KCCI or Jeff Dubroff saw that and retweeted, and that thing just went viral. And that's kind of what led to all this, you know, word of like all the fans going, we need to get the presidents to every single postseason game that we can.
So where did you get the outfits from? Did you like think, oh, we'll just go down? It's not like you have a closet somewhere. Did you go out? Was it around the Halloween? Did you make them? Did mom and dad make them? Were they in a basement somewhere? Where'd you get the outfits?
Cyclone Alley got from like a Party City or something. Yeah. So they were cheap, but they worked.
Yeah,
They still
they've
work.
been worked. We've added a couple things over the years. The chains, the sunglasses, we swapped out a couple of times, but it's been about the original costumes through and through.
Nice.
So I did see that you guys had tweeted this year, or maybe I'm not sure where exactly I saw it, that you were seeking GoFundMe donations for this year's tournament run. And when I saw you over in Chicago, I had asked, so how much, so you got enough of a GoFundMe? And the answer was,
Yes.
Absolutely, we do.
Yep.
I think it was, oh, we got more than what we needed, in fact.
Yeah.
So what are the plans for next season then? Because one of the presidents is graduating. Now we do have sort of a new president coming in by the name of Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
That was signed over the weekend. That's part of the 5-person signing class that's being brought in off of the transfer portal. Is one of you going to go old school? One of you going to go more mid-60s? What's that going to look like next season?
I don't know if we've sat down and discussed that yet. I know I mentioned this earlier to the rest of the group. We have a bond with the UNI transfer, so maybe our manager will dress up James Bond style with a tuxedo going.
Okay.
That was my next question. So we're going to have a president and James Bond.
Maybe.
So how about this whole fame thing? Is this something that, you're sitting in class, we're walking around campus, do people know that it's you, that you're the president's walking around, or has there been any fame that's come with this?
I
haven't really received anything.
Yeah,
so
no.
I think when we throw the hats on along with the glasses, it makes it pretty hard to read our face at that point. So if anyone is even thinking about reading, like, I don't know, jaw lines or something, other than that, it's probably people that we've already met before outside of the whole president's thing.
Yeah.
So the outfits are a little bit like when
It's a
Superman
disguise.
puts on his glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one recognizes
Pretty
you.
hidden in there.
So where are you guys from?
I'm from Northeast Iowa, kind of by Cedar Falls. So UNI was, I've been to UNI a couple times, but I've been an Iowa State fan all the way growing up. My parents both went here, so but about 2 hours from Ames.
And Cal, I have heard you are really the backup, right? You're a freshman this season?
Yeah, I got asked to come down to St. Louis because Nick had work and just kind of filled in when I could, and I was liked enough, and they accepted me into the group.
This is let's face it, that's a pretty cool gig to get involved with as a freshman, to be able to go to these NCAA games and attend games at Hilton.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been super nice. These guys are super welcoming and super. I mean, you can see it when they're going around walking to people. They got the biggest smiles on their face. They're super happy to be involved in something that's got Iowa State written all over it.
Nick, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm also an Eastern Iowa native. I'm from Manchester, Iowa, which is right between Waterloo and Dubuque on Highway 20. And yeah, Cal had mentioned I had worked that first weekend. I do like freelance, like TV production work on the side of kind of what I've been doing. So I was requested by ESPN to help work first and second rounds of women's March Madness in Iowa City that weekend. So, yeah, I mean, I was going to be involved with March Madness one way or the other that weekend. So, at that point, once I got the request, I was kind of nervous. It was like, crap, are we going to be able to get the presidents? Are we going to be able to find someone to, fill my shoes in St. Louis? And Cal Levi stepped up. Our guy Brendan, as well as our social media guy Landon, they said he did an even better job than I probably would have. And honestly, I'm not going to disagree with that.
Oh man,
Now, wait a minute. When you say social media person, is this the presidents have their own social media? Or
yeah.
are
Oh
we talking
yes,
about
we do have an
student-
Instagram, by the way.
These guys are stars.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Right. Superstars. huh?
Yep.
Now, did you grow up playing the sport or just a fan?
I've been playing since I was probably 6 or 7.
Okay.
I was just kind of a fan of it, and it does kind of sound weird for me saying it, considering I'm like 6'3", but I couldn't get the shooting part down, so kind of got to have both in order to be successful in it.
Yeah, that's why Brent and I didn't go out.
Hey, being tall doesn't help too much. I'm not that good at 6'5", so.
What's the coolest part of this experience, playing the role of a president?
Mm.
There's a long list that I got to pick from here real quick.
I
Give
can
us a couple.
My favorite one is you walk in, like we walked in at St. Louis and the entire like bar just shut down. They looked at us, they go, "Oh my goodness," hands go up, everyone's cheering, yelling. It's just you shut a room down when you walk into it. It's been super fun to see that.
I will say that bar scenes when we walk in there's definitely a shift in where the energy is directed. I don't want to repeat Cal's answer because that'd be a little bit boring. I guess I maybe would say during like the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City, when we would go through like the Power and Light district, that kind of area where all the fans did like the pregame, like the pep rally, that sort of stuff. Just walking through like that entire like pit of Iowa State fans, and it's just like picture request after picture request because everyone wants to be able to like get that moment, and that's something that we love doing no matter where it's at. Some of the fans have been even like telling us like, you guys should charge for pictures, and we're like, no, we will never do that. 5-star culture.
Like you're in Vegas or something, right?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things we do have a sponsor for Performer of the Week, and it's the We Will Pizza Performance of the Week. And I want to give the award to you guys today for that. So I want to play a quick commercial to recognize you, and then we'll come back on the other side and have a couple more questions for you, if that's okay.
All right.
Perfect.
Let's be honest. Pizza is something almost every family enjoys. You're already grabbing one at the store. So why not choose the best tasting pizza that also supports a cause we all care about? That was the challenge behind We Will Pizza. Create the ultimate frozen pizza for Cyclone fans. Big flavor, bold toppings, and options for everyone, including gluten-free choices that don't sacrifice taste. And if you haven't tried it yet, the real MVP? The breakfast pizza. Perfect for early kickoffs, tailgates, or watch parties when Hilton Magic or Jack Trice Energy is calling. Every bite helps benefit Iowa State student athletes, so your game day spread does more than just taste amazing. It gives back. We Will Pizza. Made for Cyclone fans, built for tailgates, and ready whenever you are. We will, you will. Cyclones will.
All right, we are back to Inside the Storm, and on today's show, we've got Nick and Cal, the two presidents that have become a global phenomenon, or certainly local celebrities in our eyes. And so we wanted to honor you guys with the We Will Pizza Performer of the Week. Now, Nick, you made reference that you are in digital, right?
Yeah, like kind of broadcast production, sort of like freelance type work.
In what year are you?
I'm currently a sophomore.
Okay. And what are your plans after Iowa State?
Kind of hoping to just kind of stay involved with the broadcast production route. I will say that on the side, I do high school like play-by-play for like sporting events in like Ankeny and the Ankeny Centennial High Schools. So I've kind of been thinking about play-by-play as a route as well to kind of get on the air. But if not, I've also kind of opened myself to thinking about production roles behind the scenes that kind of make those people on the air look really good. So that's kind of where I'm thinking.
How do Brent and Marcus look to you?
I don't know. I mean, Brent's looking pretty good. I mean, I'm not seeing any of the weird backgrounds. I don't know. I don't know if this is my place to be a critic or not.
Do you guys remember watching? You're probably a little bit on the young side. Does Marcus Pfizer and Brent Curvey, do those names mean anything from an Iowa State fan perspective? I bet your parents will recognize both.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yep. My mom says she watched Marcus. You played in Chicago a couple times. So
Oh, we
big
played
fan.
a lot in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She said she
Guys,
liked it.
The guy's been he's hung out with Michael Jordan too.
Did get a picture with the statue.
Yeah.
Oh, when you were at the United Center?
Yeah, that was a must-do thing on the list.
Oh yeah, I've even done that. We all have. Absolutely. Absolutely. Took a picture in the summertime.
Brent,
Before
what
training
about
got started.
Brent, have you taken your picture with Michael Jordan?
No, not even a statue. I haven't been to the United Center to take a picture with the statue.
I think I might need to go to a NASCAR race, to get a picture with the real Michael Jordan now that now he's owner of a NASCAR team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be nice to be able to kind of do whatever you want at this point in your career. That you've made all the Nike money, and you've got your own shoe brand and clothing brand, and guy's done very well for himself. That's for
Few
sure.
billion, not too bad.
Right. Not bad at all.
So, question for you two: if you were to dress up as a president or in some sort of costume, and would you have chosen the presidents, or what's one thing that you are thinking about as maybe the next step once we run out of presidents in Ames?
I keep making the joke about with Killian having like a baguette, maybe a mime costume, a little French nod. I think that'd be pretty funny. I want somebody to do that. So if you guys do that, hit me up. I'll help fund that one.
That's not bad.
That sounds like fun. Nick,
Don't really
anything that
know
you
of
would
any
dress up
ideas
as?
necessarily from me. I'll be real. There were a couple of men's basketball games I wasn't even like at home this year at Hilton that I was like working the TV stuff. So we had, other people in the costumes. So I haven't really thought about that, about what other costume idea we might have next if, we run out of presidents. I did tell TJ at Cyclone Tailgate Tour last summer, was like, hey, if you keep recruiting presidents to keep the whole thing alive, that'd be, we would love it. I mean, I don't know if that's what he was thinking about when recruiting Jaquan Johnson. I'm sure he was probably looking at him because of his actual skill, not his name.
Oh, yeah.
But it is great to be able to have that sort of coincidental relationship there to keep the whole thing alive for next year.
Now, have you guys been invited to any special events or anything? In the one that comes to mind is the Size House of Trivia is coming up in a couple of weeks. Is that something that you two are invited to attend?
I haven't even thought about that, actually.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, Nick. I believe somebody invited us to a wedding, like how you have Cy at an event.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I remember that. She wanted us to be the ring bearers for that one.
Oh, that's impressive.
That is impressive. I'm going to keep that one in mind.
Might need to do some sort of goofy little dance down the aisle when we deliver those.
Yeah, choreography lessons. At least I will personally. I can't dance.
Well, all you need to know for a wedding is Juicy Wiggle, right? So
yeah, no, I got that
good
one
to go.
Oh, we could do that down the aisle right there.
Yeah.
I go to bed.
So it's not well known, but Brent owns and runs Coach's Kolaches in Clive, and there's been some camera footage that we can't find right now of him doing the Juicy Wiggle as he's making kolaches. Is that right, Brent?
Yeah,
That's
search long and hard and let me know what you find out.
That's how
Christian
I did it at
was on the
Jeff Trucks
back end.
though in Kansas gear, so I don't.
That's right.
That's right. With the juicy wiggle, it don't matter.
Brent's son plays football at Kansas, so we have to kind of bear with him. All right, Nick and Cal, it's been a pleasure to have you on. Certainly wish you guys the best of luck. Looking forward to seeing you guys at some of the future events for basketball season. Have you thought about doing anything for football?
We've been talking about it. We got to see who's playing. We've been looking through the roster, so we got a couple names we got our eyes on.
All right, that sounds great.
Well, I got to look out for that. I got to look out for that GoFundMe because I'm definitely gonna send some funds you guys' way to help this thing rolling.
Yeah. We rarely ever talk about it during football season, but once postseason basketball hits up, that's like the one thing that gets pushed on Twitter, mostly by Iowa State.
We had a couple guys down from, I think it was Baylor at St. Louis, that wanted us to. There's like a Iowa State group down in Baylor, and they got some scholarships. They're like talking about how if we ever come down, they got a tailgate just for Iowa State folk down in Baylor.
Jeez.
I think we're gonna try and get up that one maybe.
Nice. See, you are the celebrity is just spreading across the Big 12. So congratulations. Congratulations to the president. It's been fun watching you guys. We're looking forward to the next season as well. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we'll take a quick break. Come back on the other side.
Yeah, we appreciate you having us here.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
In the heart of Des Moines, one name has stood above the rest: Iowa Beef Steakhouse. Step inside, and you enter a place where tradition still matters, where the atmosphere feels familiar, warm, and unmistakably Iowa. Service isn't rushed. It's personal, attentive, and rooted in genuine care. And before the main event, the freshest start in the city, our signature salad bar, crafted every single day. Then comes the reason people have returned for generations: Iowa beef, hand-seasoned with pride. Guided by flame, forged by heat. This is where flavor becomes legend. Served with the same care it was crafted with, a meal meant to be remembered. And whether the night calls for bold, smooth, or something in between, our bar offers a selection as rich as our history, including the old-fashioned we've become known for: balanced, timeless, unforgettable. And long after the fire cools, the glow of this place stays with you. Iowa Beef Steakhouse, 1201 East Euclid Avenue, Des Moines, Iowa, where Iowa comes for steak, done right.
Gentlemen, let's be honest. Finding the perfect gift for your wife or girlfriend isn't always easy. You want something thoughtful, stylish, and unique, and that's exactly what you'll find at Styled by JJ Boutique. Julia Bradshaw and her team strive to be your go-to boutique for casual, boho, and chic clothing and accessories, helping women elevate their style one piece at a time. Located right here in Johnston, Iowa, Styled by JJ brings trendy, high-quality fashion that boosts confidence without breaking the bank. So, if you're looking for a gift that says, "I get you," instead of "I tried," head to Styled by JJ Boutique, because nothing makes her smile like feeling beautiful. Styled by JJ Boutique, where style meets confidence. Visit our Johnston location or shop online at styledbyjjboutique.com.
Buying or selling a home is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's why choosing the right real estate team matters. The Jenny Farrell team with RE/MAX Concepts has been helping families across the Des Moines metro find the right home since 1998. Born and raised right here in the community, Jenny understands the neighborhoods, the market, and what truly makes a house feel like home. Whether you're buying your first home, upgrading your space, or preparing to sell, the Jenny Farrell team provides expert guidance every step of the way, from market analysis and listings to negotiations and closing. Their consultative approach means you'll feel confident, informed, and supported throughout the entire process. Jenny Farrell Team, RE/MAX Concepts. Call or text 515-779-7500. Visit jenniferfarrell.remax.com. Experience you can trust. results you can move into.
When you walk into Coach's Kolaches, you might be a little overwhelmed by all the great choices, but do not be overwhelmed by how to say it.
What's a colache?
Oh, cola cheese?
Colache? Kolaches?
Kolache?
Like the shoes? No, that can't be right.
It's kolache, but it don't matter what you call it, as long as you call it good.
Start your morning the Coach's Kolaches way. Every single batch is made fresh at sunrise by Coach himself. You can taste the care in every bite. Craving something savory? Go with that branded Texas flavor. Warm, hearty, and packed with down-home goodness. Or maybe you're craving the sweeter life. Then you've got to try the fruit-filled kolaches or those soft, fresh cinnamon rolls that practically melt in your mouth. Got that game day fever? We got just what you need at that tailgate.
How's it going, man?
Good.
Tailgating this weekend.
Yeah, what can I get
Big
you?
one. Give me a dozen jalapeno sausages and 6 each of the sausage and bacon.
And listen, we all know how good these are, so you better get more than you think. So run, don't walk to Coach's Kolaches, 2777 100th Street in Urbandale, or call ahead for big orders at 515-802-6200.
All right, we are back. Boy, that was fun watching or hearing from those two.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I can't say when I was a student that we were doing anything all that excited. I know at football, the football team was not that successful, so we sat in the upper tier, and we always would get baked by the sun. And I think at most, Troy Davis, it was one of the I think I might have graduated his senior season or his freshman season, so he didn't play that much. But then when McCarney came in and he started to run for 2,000 yards, the student section would have that sort of digit where they put up the numbers to tell you how many yards that he had on the season. That was probably the most that the students got involved in something like this. I could imagine dressing up as Big Play Curvey, though. That would have been pretty cool to see.
Yeah. You would have never saw me. I was never out. I never did anything, Dave. Stayed at the house.
How many touchdowns did you have in your career? Yeah, what? At least you had at least 3 touchdowns.
Yep, I did. But you wouldn't have saw me to celebrate after. That's all.
No. Well,
I would have scored and went right back home. I did actually go out that night, but I was away. I was out of the way, Dave. Nobody really got to see me, man. In and out. Come do my job, get back home and chill. Bring the party to me.
So today's news, a bit of a bummer with Milan Momcilovic announcing that he's not only entering the NBA draft, which we knew he was going to at least explore it, but he's also placing himself in the transfer portal. And I think we all sort of get it. I think there's only so many dollars. I was listening to Cyclone Fanatic last week, and their podcasts were inferring that they're hearing up to $3 million a season, if not more, that Momcilovic was being offered by other schools. That number could maybe even go higher than that. I think that if anything, Milan's decision or announcement today at least allowed TJ to sign and fill all 5 openings for scholarships that he needed to without having to wait. One of the predicaments when you have Milan sitting out and sort of in this gray area of am I going, am I staying, that there's only so many dollars that go around. How much money do you give out to the players that you're trying to bring in? And having enough for Momcilovic, if he should elect to stay, or at least him announcing that he's leaving gives the coaching staff an opportunity to fill those seats. It's just sort of a bummer that if he decides not to enter the draft or to stay entered into the draft, he won't be a Cyclone. You guys have any thoughts on that?
I think the possibility of him getting drafted is going to be high. But if he wants to possibly look at bettering his position, first of all, he's going to have a better season next year than he had this year. You know, which I'm not saying is not possible, but the way he shot the ball this year, they're going to look to have some kind of improvement on that all-around game. But if they're offering $3 million, then that's not a bad idea to maybe think about going that route and staying for as long as he can. How much of a position, how higher of a position he going to put himself in the NBA draft possibilities, I really don't know, because you really can't foresee what the season is going to be like for him next year. But you know, I think he will get drafted if he remains in the draft. But again, if they're offering $3 million, you know, entertain that as well.
It's a lot of money to have to turn down. Brent, one of the things that has really crossed my mind, and it's similar to Audie Crooks, that I think it tarnishes Audie's legacy as a Cyclone to not finish. And I'm talking about a Marcus where, you know, Marcus went into the NBA. He went to the next level. If Milan ends up not playing in the NBA this season and ends up in the transfer portal, goes to another school, I think that tarnishes his legacy as a Cyclone. What are your thoughts?
I mean, this, you know, I don't know. This age of the game is so different for me. So I'm kind of, you know, I don't know, kind of in between. I'm indifferent. Just because the reality is a lot of these kids aren't truly looking to create legacies at these schools. You know what I mean? You have the rare cases of Attainment Lipsy that come through the program and stuff like that, and they're all about it. But the reality is guys with a certain skill level, like it's about opportunity, right? If we can do well at this school, like I show you we do well at this school. Well, somebody comes knocking on my door, and this is like you know, pretty big increase. These guys become seniors. So they're like, wow, if I got one more year, I kind of want to, you know, make the best of the opportunity. So, you know, I hate it for him. I know Audie's an Audie girl. I'm sorry, an Audie girl, but an Iowa State girl, an Iowa native. But you know, it does suck in a sense for someone like her, because you kind of see Taman in Audie's journey, right? Just kind of being here and wanting to stay home. But, you know, her wanting to go out and explore something else her last year, I see a lot of kids kind of doing that now. You know, so last year they gave the school all this time. So I want to experience another, you know, place and maybe another financial opportunity, and before they, you know, take their next step. So I can't fault them personally. That's kind of my own take.
And Marcus, I have a feeling you know the answer to this, but really it's for both. What are the requirements for being in the Iowa State Hall of Fame? It seems like you had to have graduated from Iowa State. Would you have had to play or be a part of the program all 4 years? Or could you, in theory, have played 4 years and transferred and played a fifth season at Iowa State as long as you received some sort of degree? You're automatically eligible. What is the eligibility
for the Hall of Fame
at Iowa State?
Well, I hadn't done none of those. I didn't play for 4 years. I didn't graduate. I hadn't graduated either. So I really don't know what the criteria was. I just got a phone call or email saying that I was being inducted. I mean, I was living life as a father, and I was just alerted that I was being inducted. So, I mean, you know, how I've been for the last 10, 15 years is just, you know, coaching, raising children, you know, being a fan of the sport, not really, you know, like I say all the time, a lot of the you know, memorabilia and stuff like that, I got a lot in my parents' house, not here out here in Vegas. I just, you know, just a fan of sports. So all that type, different things, you know, the retirement of jerseys and numbers and all that, like I really couldn't tell you, you know, what the criteria of any of those things are.
Well, and maybe I misspoke, and it's really the jersey piece of it, but it feels like there needs to be a shift. And we brought this up with Tanya Banks a month or so ago with the gymnastics program, where I think she's now part of the committee that looks at things like this. But here we are, players like Audie Crooks, significant impact, Milan Momcilovic, significant impact. I think we can all agree it's a pretty raw deal when you have someone like Marcus Fizer that's all world at Iowa State that still can't get his jersey hung. And it's not like you transferred schools or you quit. You went to the NBA, right? And now we've got players that are not going to be finishing and they're transferring to another school. Like, can we give a break towards the guys and gals that went into the professional realm versus those that transferred to another school? It just seems like a bit of a raw deal. And I may be on my high horse on this. And I know you guys are probably pretty passionate too.
Well, yeah, I kind of understand where you're coming from on that. And the dynamic of everything has really changed. I totally get it and understand. I'm not, they say rules are made. They say rules are made to be broken like records. Some people say that, but I've never been the one to say, the rules should be changed. If that was the rule that was there before me, that was a rule that was there after me. If the powers that be, decide to change it and decide to, give me that honor, absolutely, I will welcome it. But I still have some things to do on my end during the course of the rule being set right now, on the outside of the rule, one way or the other. Finishing school is not only to get my jersey or my number retired one day, what have you. But it's going to be quite different from here on out. I have some college students, some student athletes in college now that I coached in high school. There are juniors and seniors that have been on 4 programs in 4 years. And it's like, man, I didn't even know this guy, here and there and bounce around. It's like, it's just the nature of the game right now. So a lot of that is going to, I think you're going to see more people not being inducted into Hall of Fame because people are not staying around as long, unless you have a Carmelo Anthony freshman year. That don't come around. But the box.
He also won a national title.
Unless you have that type year, So if you have that type year, then that makes a little bit of a difference. But you're not going to see many 3 or 4 year guys. Brent mentioned Taman. If the NIL had came up 3 or 4 mil for him, I know he's an AIM kid, but 3 or 4 mil goes a long way to names and anywhere else if he doesn't decide to play pro basketball, get that opportunity. So you gotta think about that. I think about that really, really deeply now. Also having a son that's coming up and getting ready to be in this same dynamic, and I just take it one step at a time and see what happens next for all of these kids.
So a guy that you made reference, Taman Lipsey, I saw that he was invited to there's a pre-draft event at Portsmouth that he's included on that list. What's that experience like for a young guy like Taman Lipsey?
I don't know. I didn't go to any pre-drafts.
Oh, really?
No, when you're slated, possibly specifically top 5 or top 10, you pretty much don't have to go to those type games because you just don't want to risk the chance of getting injured. A lot of the top lottery teams don't want those potential players in those camps. Not to say that the skill level or anything like that is anything different, but if you've been on that radar so high for so long, you're not going to see Peterson or DeBonsa or Cameron Booz at those type. Got come down on somebody's foot and pop a knee, then that changes the dynamic of what they're looking for in the draft. So, but I just know it's going to be real busy for him. He's going to visit a lot of teams, get seen by a lot of people. It's going to be a lot of fun at the same time. You get a lot of free gear, a lot of free travel, a lot of professional accommodations and things of that nature. And but the most thing about it is, if he's not selected and he gets to be a part of a NBA Summer League team, with his skill set and everything like that, he's going to be able to show what he's able to do and get picked up. And if that doesn't happen, he goes the route of going overseas, he's going to be a high value player that making high 6 figures or maybe even 7. So it's going to be good for him.
A heck of a weekend by TJ, adding 5 players from the transfer portal. So the transfer portal taketh, the transfer porter giveth. So
Hey.
we had 5 guys come in for visits this weekend, and all 5 signed on the dotted line. So Ryan Prather, a Robert Morris guy, 15.7 points per game, 3-point shooter, 6'5", so he's got a little bit of height to him from the outside, has a high assist to turnover ratio, which we know that TJ likes, and he's had the comfort of Tamin Lipsey for the last 4 seasons. We made reference earlier in the day with one of the new presidents, Jaquan Johnson, coming in from Bradley. What I like about him is MVC Defensive Player of the Year. I think that says a lot about what TJ's been going for, as well as he's a first-team All-MVC player. And he's a scorer, too. He scored nearly 17 points a clip. Probably the downside on him is he's just 5'11". So that's maybe the downside. But if you can score and you play defense, I think we can be comfortable with that. Taj Manning from Kansas State, 6'7". Leon Bond from Northern Iowa. He played at Virginia with Blake Buchanan before he spent a couple seasons at Northern Iowa, 6'5" guard. Averaged nearly 12 points a game. He too was an MVC All-Defensive, was named to the MVC All-Defensive team. And then the 5th player, Trey Singleton from Northwestern, another 6'8" guy. So getting big down low. He's just he just finished his freshman season at Northwestern, so he's got 3 years left. So a lot of size, got some talent coming in that, well, it's going to hurt to see a player of the caliber of a Tamin Lipsey, of a Nate Heisey, and certainly of a Milan Momcilovic. We've got some guys coming in that should be able to fill in, and it'll be exciting to see how all these players sort of blend together with the guys that are staying over. On the women's side, Chris Shipley texted us tonight that Jada Williams announced her commitment to LSU, and Kim Mulkey. Should be quite interesting fashion show down in Baton Rouge next season, because those two, I mean, we've all seen Kim Mulkey dressing up on the sidelines, but if you follow Jada on social media, she likes to do some different outfits as well. So I think that should be very interesting. Elisa Williams is transferring to Indiana. Nothing yet from Audie or Addie, although I did see that Addie Brown was set for a visit to Oklahoma. I think there were 2 other teams. I want to say one was Vanderbilt. I can't remember the third one that was on that list. So we may hear a little bit from them coming up. Brent, football question. Not sure if you saw, but 2 games that 2 Iowa State football games are being moved from Saturday to Friday night. So the game at BYU has been moved to a Friday, as well as the game at UCF is being moved to a Friday night. What are your thoughts on Friday night games, especially the travel? Because you're talking probably the 2 furthest distances for Iowa State to travel to are both going to be on Friday nights. What does that look like for the team playing on a Friday?
I mean, so practice-wise, it's a short week. I'm assuming there's a Saturday game before both of those games. So, yes. I mean, that just shortens a week like crazy. So you pretty much get off the bus, or playing, Saturday, the game's over, you're right back there Sunday. So you don't really get that day off like we normally would, and right into it. So those kind of suck from a player's perspective, just because it's such a quick turnaround. You really don't get the day off, the time to kind of rest and recover. Always good when you're a starter and the coach is like, all right, well, you guys are going to lighten it, be more of a mental day for you. You know what I'm saying? But, and then Thursday travel, and then into the Friday game. So, you go from 4.5, 5 days of prep to 3, 3.5, 4. So it's tough. It's a lot more film study that's involved. So I know back in the day, if we had like a Friday game, we'd sprinkle in just a hair towards the end just to kind of put it in our minds. So we kind of, had some sort of semblance of what the next team would do type of thing. But we would kind of study ahead ourselves. But yeah, it's just short weeks, man. Hopefully they lighten the load. We'll see. But Fridays are one of my favorite. I was glad to leave that behind as a high school kid. You know what I'm saying? Let's play on Saturdays, because eventually the goal was to play on Sundays, or those Thursday night games too. So
does it matter that whether it's in Manhattan, Kansas versus in Provo or in Orlando, does it matter the fact that the distance is that much greater playing in a short week, or does it matter? Does it just not matter because either way you got to hop on a plane or a bus?
Yeah, I mean, you're hopping on the plane, I'm sure. Especially the Provo and what was it, Manhattan? Is that the other game that switched?
It's UCF.
Oh, okay. So yeah, they're hopping on the plane. So it'll be, regardless, it's a plane ride for the guys, so it's not a lot of difference for them travel wise. But it's just a short week aspect. The quick turnaround from a Saturday and then right back into a Friday game. Recovery is a little different. Things are sped up that week, so it gets kind of jumbled up. But
one of the things I saw, and I know you were not able to make it, but there was sort of a welcome back where they brought back a lot of former players to interact with the coaching staff, interact with the players. I think that's a smart choice by Coach Rogers to do that. How does that come about? And I guess from a former player's perspective, what are your thoughts on being invited back for events like that?
Well, being that for a minute I wasn't invited, I'm all about it. I love new coaches that, they open the doors to former guys and allow them back in the facilities and, see the guys come around. Because you were here, some guys don't like the change and the add and mixing the old with the new, right? Because they just want to learn what's new. But I definitely appreciate stuff like that, man. Coach Mack was a big piece of that. He reached out to a couple guys and asked if we were going to be around to make it up to it last weekend or the weekend before to meet the coaching staff, stuff like that. So then bringing Mack in, he's always kind of the glue. He'll reach out to all of his guys that he knows still have relationships, and we just kind of pass the word around and try to make it like a mini reunion. So
yeah, I was wondering how that worked. Is there a big text chain or email chain that goes out, or it sounds like Coach Mack is the spear then? He's the one that's reaching out, contacting everyone?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of guys. I'm in a chat with quite a few older guys from, other years there. And so, everybody else, we talk obviously amongst ourselves there. And then there's hey, make sure you tell everybody else that's around type of thing. And, certain guys, we always keep up with other guys depending on where we are type of deal. And to spread the word, man.
Well, I know you're up there fairly regularly with classes, so
yeah,
sounds like you're getting a chance to. Have you had a chance to stop in and meet the coaching staff?
Not yet. I been too hectic on my end from school and classes and everything else. But it's I get up there and because I want to be a kind of a part of it and meet the guys. So heard really good stuff about them too, especially with the guys that came in town last week. And I've talked to quite a few teammates that were there. So I look forward to getting up there and meeting them and talking shop with them a little bit.
Any insights that you're able to share, or is it a little too soon yet?
Nah, it's too soon.
Okay.
Yeah, too soon. I haven't seen it with my own eyes, so I can't, say much of nothing, man.
Well, it just has to be a unique experience because there's just so many new players that are coming in and trying to learn names and learn coaches, learn positions, learn sort of what the pieces that the coaches are trying to put together in the system and all that. I bet the spring ball is you've got to have your head on a swivel and really be focused and locked in, because if not, you're going to miss out.
Yeah. I mean, usually spring ball defense does better, especially with a new coaching staff. Defensively, it's a lot easier to pick up pieces because scheme never changes. It's all about the disguise, right? Like with cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. But it's a matter of how we disguise it. So a lot of those units will pick up better. So I bet, and plus he's the defensive guy. I bet the defense does, they'll come out swinging a little bit better than the offense will start the year. So that'd be my personal opinion just on past stuff.
And the team has announced they're having a spring, I think they're calling it a showcase, which I don't know that we exactly know what that will mean, other than some sort of practice or scrimmage we'll be able to watch as fans. It's on the 25th. what are some things that we as fans should be looking for? I think a lot of times you're looking for a lot of scoring, you're looking for excitement. Should we care about that, or should we treat it as this is a practice, that this is more for the players and the coaches than it is for the fans?
I think fans should come into it with, we got to see who we want to enjoy and cheer for the most, because they don't know anybody anymore. So I think fans should just come into it excited to see new guys, put faces with names, and find out who to cheer on. Because early spring ball, these guys have been together a couple months max, so a lot of communication still yet to happen, a lot of gelling to do. So I think it's one of those, not be so critical, just see the guys, and be excited for the fall, because there's going to be some work to do. So don't be surprised.
Very well said. I want to bring up before we close for the night that Tracking the Storm, our sister podcast, I listened in a couple of weeks ago. They had part 2 of an interview with Cyclone and former Olympian and sprinter Danny Harris. Talks about his struggles with drug abuse and addiction. So would really recommend that if you're a Cyclone fan, he's a familiar name, played football and ran track until track took over and became his commitment. And there was the right choice, because he ended up making the Olympics and breaking the great streak that Olympian Edwin Moses had over the years. And then tonight they had on former Cyclone Tom Randall, who had played in the 70s and was drafted and played in the NFL. So if you haven't been listening or watching Tracking the Storm, I would certainly encourage everyone to take a look at that. Obviously, we're going to have, now that all the men's slots been filled out of the transfer portal, I think now it's just sort of watching to see what happens with Momcilovic. The NBA draft isn't until late May, so we probably won't see a lot other than whether he elects to pull out or if he elects to stick in. Marcus, you feel very confident he will be drafted. It's just a matter of where, based upon his shooting ability, where and when, right?
Yeah, I think the opportunity for him is big and dynamic for what he brings to the table, the skill set. Like in the pros, as people say all the time, like, that guy averaged 5 points a game. How did he get drafted so high? And then he gets into the NBA and that averages 5 points and 14 rebounds and 7 blocks. It's like, oh, because there's more facets to the game than just blocking shots. I think in the couple, I don't know if it was the last NFL draft or the year before, it was a cornerback that hadn't had an interception in his career in college, and like he was a first round draft pick. It's a lot of different intents.
Is that Sauce? No, Sauce had a bunch. I remember that though. I can't remember what it was.
It was recent. It was recent. I was like, man, but you understand that the pros quarterbacks are going to throw at you a little bit more opportunities. You may not get as many opportunities in college, but the next level sees that. We're probably not looking for Milan to do anything but come off screens. Steph Curry don't have to dribble the ball unless he wants to dribble the ball. Majority of the time, you just run them off screens, handing them the ball or fading, and you just do what you do and shoot. And then in today's NBA, they're letting guys get up 14, 15 threes. The Champagne guys, I'm watching the Spears Champagne, one of his brothers, I think, is in Brooklyn or in maybe in Philly. I forget exactly where his brother is, but that's all those guys do is shoot. So you got that skill set to shoot the ball. I know we've had guys like Freddie that come through and who went to the league as a shooter and stuff like that. If Fred Hoiberg had the opportunity to shoot as much as these guys have to shoot now, Freddie would have made $100 million easily. It was his shooting. But, it's different now. So he can't go in thinking about, exactly what he did or didn't do, or it's not about ball him. It's about the analytics, about the X's and O's, and putting you in a position to maximize the potential that you have, and they're going to do that.
Have you guys seen the NCAA, one of the proposals that have come out about you get 5 years to play, and that's it. You can transfer in some proposals you can transfer as much as you want, and some you can transfer one time, but it's 5 years to play, and that's it. Regardless if you have an injury or not, it's 5 years. I think the only variances from that would
Yeah,
be
they shut that down.
religion. Oh, they did strike it down.
Yeah, that was. I think they shut it down last year. They
Well,
may
but
be
I think-
trying to.
I thought
think-
it
I
just
think-
came up. The NCAA was going to relook at that again.
That's what I think they're trying to relook at it, but they shut it down last year to where one of the bigger reasons why they shut it down is even with Division II, and I think junior college players, because now before junior college players was the freshman and sophomore year, then you had 2 more years left in the higher level, or possibly 3 if it was a redshirt or whatever. Now they're giving them as many years as you play at junior college. Once you get to D1 to the next level, you come in as a freshman. And so I think that was a straight off, because they're giving the younger kids the opportunity to now go to JUCO. The JUCO route is so much higher now, because kids don't care about going JUCO now, because they're getting a lot of experience and they're not worrying about their clock starting at the NCAA level. So when they shut it down last year, I think it was like September or whatever, it was because of the fact of them being able to, because you got all of these older players in the higher level that are transferring. And I don't care, you could be a McDonald All-American, but if, you could be a McDonald All-American, but if I got Milan Mucinovic leaving Iowa State that's coming in that's proven, your McDonald All-American boy going to be on the bench, because, I'm bringing him in for $3 million, he's going to be starting. So
Right.
if that type of high school player, even if they're not a McDonald All-American, if they're coming in and like, well, I will go to JUCO route and still have my years of eligibility left after the older guys moved on, that put me in a position to come in and play, then that's what they're doing. So they may be trying to bring it back up, but I know for a fact last year, around about August or September, that they shut it down, and that was the biggest reason about it.
Would you support 5 and 5? Like, that's it. We're not giving any more exceptions outside of the pregnancy. I think pregnancy was one, and like a religious. So think of the BYU kids that go out and serve for a year and then come back. What thoughts on the 5 and 5?
I don't know. I think I'm probably a little bit in the middle. I think I would be not so much not for it, because even so much, like I had a kid who went to a school in Texas, D1, that went back to JUCO. So he played his freshman year in NCAA. Now he's back in JUCO, and so like once he comes back, he's just going to be a sophomore, because those JUCO years are not technically going to count. So I think that's what they're trying to gear more so as, okay, if you're here and it doesn't work and you still got the 5 years, you can go back down there. As long as your 5 years are here are what they are, once they add up to 5, then let's leave it there. Because there's all kind of crazy. So we got guys that's playing now, I think in football, that's been in college for 8 years. Like, I don't know how they pull that off or why they will even want to pull that off. But, so there's a lot of that's into the totality of it all, but I think that's the biggest thing that they're trying to gear towards. If it's not working out right now, you need to get a little bit better, stronger, whatever. You go down to a high level junior college, spend some years down there, i.e., a Cam Newton left Florida, went, to Blinn, and then went to, Auburn or wherever, and, had success from then on. So I think that's possibly what they're gearing at.
Brent,
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of finding some sort of way of limitation, because when guys are playing 8, 9 years and all of that, like for me, that's overkill. Like y'all are damn near 30 years old playing college football without being to the military, without going to the military first. Like that's a problem for me. I do get like there should be caveats built in. So I'm okay with like a 5 year with caveats. The coach leaves or gets fired. I think you should be able to, leave or some kind of way, maybe get a year back type of deal. Or if you have to medical, like, because guys will blow a knee out and you're missing a whole year. You tear an Achilles, you're gone for the season. So I don't think that should be counted against you. So I think we can find some sort of way to limit this, because I think once we get past 6 years, like we get into 7 and 8, that's too many for college guys. Because now, I mean, the reality is 25-year-old Marcus against 19-year-old Marcus. It's two totally different people. You know what I'm saying? But now they're on the same court. I think that's where you kind of run into the issue, you know, for me.
But then again, you also have the ones that never started their clock at all. You know, like the rapper thing of Tootsie that's down at LSU at 26 years old as a freshman. And, you know, he's working out and he played high school football. And apparently from some clips I've seen, he has, you know, some wide receiver skills and could possibly, you know, as an older player, make it as a walk-on. You know, you don't really need a scholarship because you got money from being an artist. But then would you, like, how do you, because are you going to give him 5 years? At 26?
Yes, but that's one of those caveats, right? Like if you never tapped into your eligibility, then obviously it's there. Because also to not play a sport for 5 years and to hop back into it, that's going to take a hell of a commitment to come back in and compete, right? And be off that long. Does wonders for your body, but it'll also catch up to you too. Because the older you start, you know, those injuries catch up to you. You start to recover a little bit slower than those, you know, 18, 19-year-old fresh bodies. So
I wish I would have written it down, but I'd heard on a podcast or a show somewhere that there's a 60-year-old guy. I don't want to say it's a junior college, something small you never heard of, that is out for spring ball.
Yeah, in the sun.
Oh, and he's with his son too?
Well,
his son like 24 or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think he's 60. I think he's like 40. I think he's about my age, 44, 47 or something like that. And his son, but they say his son is like 24 or something like both of them was damn near too late.
For real.
I remember seeing that. And then it was football. And I was like, yeah, that ain't going to last long.
I didn't realize they allowed walkers out on the football field.
Man, that's crazy.
Man. You don't need a stretcher.
We'd all do it. We would all do it today. If they said, we'll give you 1 year, wouldn't you go back?
Shit, if I'm getting some of the NIL that they getting now, yeah, that's different. But to go back just because, hell no, I ain't going back just.
That's definitely different. If I was saying 3 million, 5 million, I say I was see you in 27, 28.
Right.
Still be there.
You get a little time. Let me recover. Let me get this body right. We'll do it.
I'll need about 12 to 15 months.
That's it. To get ready. I'm with you. Shit.
Well, the good thing is that you were under Mac and then under Eustace, so you know the tough life. So you'd survive, I think.
That's young spry. I guarantee you right now. If Kervake did a scoop when he went to that score, he's not turning backwards.
No.
He's on the oxygen machine.
He'll be happy to cross the finish line, Doc. I'm not worried about nothing else.
Down on the goal line right there.
With you and your walker. Oh.
Man, please. Hey, Milm in the lane, I'm shooting at 3. We're not reliving that one. Oh,
I would pay to watch that. I'll tell you that.
I would pay to see it.
So back in, it might have been the early to mid 80s at the All-Star break, they would have, forgive me, but like an old timers basketball. So they bring back the players from the 60s and 70s to play kind of like the old timers, that a lot of old timers game that baseball has, like the Yankees old timers game. I think that'd be fun to have a old timers Iowa State, whether it's football or basketball, bring some of you guys back.
That'd be fun. That'd be a good time.
Straight. Pollard, you hear it? These guys are ready to go.
Straight expedition, just for the laughs of it. We plan on one end. That's it. and it may be 3-on-3.
I would take that. That'd be a lot of fun.
That'd be a lot of fun.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks everyone for joining us. Again, thanks to the presidents for being here tonight. Remember our sponsors. Without them, this would not be possible. Obviously, the Revelton Distilling Company, our title sponsor, sitting here with my Revelton again tonight, as well as Iowa Beef Steakhouse, our studio sponsor, Andrew Downs and AKC Marketing. Again, styled by JJ Boutique and We Will Pizza and Creasman Foods, as well as our newest sponsor that we brought on, the official realtor of the show, Jenny Farrell with RE/MAX. Thanks everyone for joining us. We'll see you next time. Go Cyclones.
Go Cyclones.
Go Cyclones.
There's a cyclone brewing on the outskirts tonight. Jack Trice shakes when the team takes flight. Hilton's rocking, hear the magic call. We rise together, we'll never fall. There's a cyclone brewing on the outskirts tonight. Jack Trice shakes when the team takes flight. Hilton's rocking, hear the magic call. We rise together, we'll never fall. CYCLONES, Cyclone Nation.